All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I am back with another video, all boxing and everything. Make sure y'all subscribe. All right, y'all, I know it's been a minute. Sorry I kept y'all without a video or any boxing videos over the past couple weeks, well, about 3 weeks now, but been dealing with some things. So I just wanted to update everybody and just let them know that still been watching boxing behind the scenes, but just been recovering because I've been dealing with some health issues. Had a few health scares over the past few weeks, and hopefully I got to it in time, and hopefully it won't get any worse. So I've just been taking it step by step, day by day, and still been active. Everything been feeling good. I'm still 100% physically. I feel good, and I still feel great. Thank God for that, because hopefully what I'm dealing with, I caught in time. So before I really get into it, I just want to tell people, man, like, always stay up on getting checkups. Whether you're going to go by your doctor's advice or not, just always get checkups, so you can make your decision from there on what you do, whether you heal naturally or if you have a procedure done or you go through medical treatment, right? Just try to, go to the doctor and get treated with certain things because, like I said, I'm been going over the past few years, to the doctor, always getting checkups, but I also been eating healthy and always trying to stay in shape, and do things like that. But there's always something that just happens. Sometimes there's certain things you just can't prevent. So if it happens and you catch it early, it'll be a benefit to you, before it gets to anything worse. So, hopefully, I did catch this in time, but, I'll update folks on if I didn't, and I'll let y'all know again, if I'm going to be out. All right. But yeah, it's a battle I've been having, that's why boxing's been keeping me alive. So yeah, I definitely been keeping up with boxing and MMA. If you like MMA, go to my MMA channel, Combo Breaker 99, or just subscribe to support, because I like to take the time out and, do these videos. It's like therapy to me, especially right now. But I've still been keeping up with boxing, and I had some people send me some news on this fight here. They want to know my thoughts on this fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, because reportedly the fight's already signed, and the fight is ready for a date in April 15th in Las Vegas, right? So I just want to look through this article real quick, and I'll give y'all my thoughts. Of course, once again, from ESPN, Mike Coppinger. I don't know how serious we can take this because he's the one that reported the date on Spence Crawford, so I'll just take it with a grain of salt. So Davis Garcia no longer just been yapping at one another on social media, right? I think we all can agree with Mike Coppinger on that. They finally signed contracts for a 136-pound catchweight fight on April 15th. The fight will take place in Las Vegas. Latest word is a copy of the fighter's signed contract has now been sent to DAZN for them to sign off on their end, considering they have a network deal with Garcia. That's expected to be completed over the weekend, formally delivering a fight that sort of needed to happen and now will, right? Sort of needed to happen. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. All right, so there have been so many things going on with this fight, talks of a rematch clause for Tank Davis's side and just so many other demands going on. Then you had some, issues going on outside the boxing ring dealing with Tank Davis and his hit and run. So, he's been dealing with that, court cases and just a lot of crazy stuff going on with this fight. But supposedly, allegedly, the fight is official, right? I'm not going to say breaking news or it's official over here, but the fight is signed. So I'll believe it when I see it. That's where I'm at with this fight. I'll believe it when the first punch is thrown, when that bell rings and the first punch is thrown. That's when I'll believe Davis Garcia is happening. But my thoughts on this fight, I've always liked this fight, but I liked it better about 2 years ago because this fight should have happened 2 years ago. I mean, I'm glad it's happening now, but 2 years ago when you had like the four guys everybody thought were like the next four horsemen, but they were acting more like the four divas, Haney, not so much. Haney, Davis, Garcia, and Lopez, right? That was like back in 2021 when these four guys were beating all the other guys. So I was like, okay, it's time for these guys to fight. Mix it up so we can see who's the best out of these four, right? But since then, still haven't had any of these guys mix it up. It's been 2 years of these four guys haven't even mixed it up, and they're around the same freaking weight classes. They're around 135, and they still haven't fought each other. So it's like something that really pisses you off with boxing. Like, you got all these great fights that could be made, and these hardcore fans want to see this type of thing, but it's being held off because of diva mentality, and just the thought of having more and more money when these guys aren't worth that yet, right? I mean, out of all these guys, Haney's probably done the best, of course. Shout out to Haney. You know, he's undisputed. Then Tank, I'd say second. You know, he's had the most world titles out of these four, but his resume is still not that deep, right? Then you got Lopez, who's kind of off his own, doing his own thing mentally right now. You know, he's taking some L's. And Garcia, who still needs to prove himself. You know, he's just an IG star with hand speed to some people, right? I mean, the guy can box. You know, he can box, definitely. You know, he's a tough kid. I'm going to give him that. But he just needs names on his resume. So these guys just need to stay away from social media and just hash this thing out now. You know, that's why I'm saying, like, this was a fight that had to happen 2 years ago because they could have moved on from here, right? So the longer these guys were waiting, they were just kind of putting their legacies on freeze, right? They'll grab belts here and there like Tank will, but what is the belt, right, if the guy's not really worth anything, right? So the longer they waited over the past 2 years, I think it just kind of stunted their growth in their legacy, in the legacy department. Maybe not the financial department, right, which is what a lot of fighters care about now. You know, everybody just wants big money now, but they won't find the balance, you know, and know their worth. Like, you need to fight a good opponent before you get my money, right? That's how I see it. Like, I'll pay high top dollar for, you know, a top level fight. That's what it is, right? Same with like movies, right? I don't buy trash movies, right? Even by my favorite actors, I won't buy a trash movie. It has to be a good movie. You know, I have to see what the movie's like before I actually purchase it and want to keep a copy in my collection. You know, that's what it's like. So same with Tank Davis, like Tank and Ryan, you know, make this thing happen so they can move on from here and we can really know what level they're on and take it to the next thing. Like, okay, if they have this fight, we can say, okay, it's time for Tank versus Haney, Tank versus Shakur Stevenson, Ryan versus Tank, Ryan versus Haney, Ryan versus Shakur Stevenson, Ryan versus Lomachenko, or Ryan versus the Lomachenko Garcia Haney winner, something like that, right? We can kind of move on from there. But the longer these guys are waiting, you know, and waiting for money, it just kind of puts the whole sport of boxing on hold, right? Because, and I say the whole sport of boxing because they're not the only fight. You know, we got Spence Crawford being held up. Now, Better BF Bivol is kind of being held up by throwing more mandatories in their faces, right? So when you just do little things like this, it just kind of, you know, puts a bad taste in your mouth with boxing. And the thing about Ryan and Tank versus like the Spence and Crawford fight, these guys really shouldn't be doing that because, you know, it's not really Titan versus Titan with them. It's more so just like star versus star in a way, you know, or social media star versus social media star. I mean, Tank, he's definitely more the boxer here, right? He is, I give him more credit as boxer, but these guys have just been on Twitter going back and forth. It's like ridiculous. Like, you're thinking like, man, what are y'all doing? Like, why are y'all not just trying to get this thing made? Like, why can't somebody be humble and just say, okay, 50-50, whatever, no rematch for right now. Let's fight now and then try to get a rematch later like they do in the UFC, you know? So, just this big holdup has really put a bad taste in my mouth. But now that it's happening, you know, I'm glad that this thing is happening now. It's just like about time, right? Like, I'm more so at that point than I am just like, oh, yeah, like, you know, because I feel like there were so many good fights that were missed in between then, like, since they didn't fight in 2021. But since it's happening now, I'm good. How I see it playing out, you know, I'll give y'all just my pre-thoughts. I definitely think Tank is the better boxer, and at 136, I think it'll favor him a little bit more, you know, since his power is pretty solid at 135. You know, add an extra pound, I think Tank, you know, he'll have an easier weight cut. And, you know, you'll see him going in there and trying to set up, you know, his best power shots, you know, kind of boxing at a mid-range. Ryan Garcia, you know, he's the bigger guy here. You know, he's a heavy guy. Definitely looks like a welterweight at times. But I think that, you know, with his straight up and down style, I think the main thing that Tank is going to have to adjust to is the hand speed. You know, he's going to have to worry about the hand speed, know how to get inside, not get caught with the left hook, and just kind of make those adjustments like he was doing against a bigger, taller fighter in Mario Barrios, right? So if he kind of takes that similar approach, you know, stalk and prey, you know, stalk his prey and set little traps and just kind of play the mental game like he did with Barrios and even his last fight with Luis Garcia, I think, you know, Tank Davis, he can set up some nice overland hand lefts on the inside and really, you know, touch Ryan Garcia's chin. But Ryan, you know, I can say that, you know, he's made some few improvements since, you know, his last fight, but it won't be an easy fight for either guy, I think. You know, I think it's going to be kind of a rough fight at first, but I still give Tank the edge because, you know, he's the overall better boxer. But I think these guys are going to let it go. You know, as much as they kind of diva out on social media, I think they're going to go in there and still give a good performance. So, I think, they they're the kind of guys that go in there entertain. They just kind of make us wait because they believe they're worth more than they are. And that's the problem with today's fighters. Like they get a couple wins and they want respect now. They want to be considered the GOATs now. But no, they got a lot of work to do. Like this is just like a tip of the iceberg of their fight. That's why me and the hardcore fans just like, stop drawing this thing out. This ain't no Mayweather Pacquiao fight. Y'all need to fight right now. Right? In the age of IG stars and social media stars, we're kind of in this era where people get huge followings and they think, they can negotiate big money or that they're worth so much now, right? But they don't understand like there's groundwork that needs to be laid when it comes to fighting. That never changes. That never changes with fighters. Just like with movies, again, when it comes down to stars, you have to have a good body of work before I'll put money on it. You know what I mean? Like you have to have very good body of work. Like whenever Floyd and Pacquiao were going to fight, I'll pay top dollar for that fight, right? But at the same time, their resumes were so good, they never really needed to fight. But, Tank and Garcia, they aren't in those positions. They need to fight each other right now. They need to fight these guys like, Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson, to really, really stand up as, to really be looked up as titans in the world of boxing today, So really, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is not a titan fight. I just wanted to give my thoughts on that one and just let y'all know that's where I see it. It's about time. I still give Tank the edge right now. And let's just make this thing happen because this is just another fight, y'all. It's just another fight. It should be explosive, but it is not a legacy. It is not one of these huge titan fights like Spence Crawford. That's how I feel about it, guys. I'm ready. I'm hoping they are. I'm hoping it's going down April 15th. But let me know, guys, what y'all think. And like I said, I'll give y'all updates on what's going on with me, throughout the week. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.